You're listening to Behind Enemy Lines, the podcast, bringing you wargaming news from around the world with your hosts Greg, Damien, and Dan.
Hello and welcome to episode 69. I am your host, the ever-present Dan.
64.
Oh, fuck, it's 64.
64.
I've been saying...
Nice.
I wanted to say... we need 5 more episodes to get to 69. Okay, but episode 64...
That's what she said.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Nice.
That couldn't have worked out any better.
Oh, jeez.
Nice.
Jeez Louise.
Holy shit, we're back.
Yeah, look at us. It's only like 7 months between episodes. Yeah! You know, we can blame COVID, even though we started doing this remotely the whole time for the last like 10 episodes. But COVID, doesn't that happen? It's a suck when it gets in the way of our podcast. Gosh darn, COVID, etc. Anyway, we're back now.
Got in my nose.
We're getting back. We're getting back the gang together to do more podcasts. We are going to try and do this more regularly like we used to, so that Noob News won't take 2 hours like it's going to in about 5 minutes. We've also got socials that Greg will talk about now. Oh, you guys could probably say hi.
Now?
Well, you can say hi if you want to.
Oh, yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Yeah, Greg's here.
Hi, Damien.
G'day, mate. How's it going, everybody? It's great to be back.
It's so weird watching Damien
Wow.
on a
Can't
phone.
even tell that you're high on meth.
He is meth. Oh, jeez.
So high on meth right now. But more importantly, we do have social media channels. So YouTube is a little bit, shall we say, quiet.
Sluggish.
Which we're planning on rectifying very, very soon. Instagram is not very quiet though. I'm posting quite a lot of stuff over there.
Oh my god,
updates
you
on
have
what's been going on.
turned the Instagram into a stupid Napoleonics thing. All I see is stupid British stuff. Go paint something cool.
I put some Russians up the other day.
Napoleonic Russians.
Yeah. And I just finished a Warlord Titan last night, apart from the basing, so I'll put that up soon as well.
Alright, I'll allow it.
Yeah.
I mean, I do have access to it, but I never take pictures and put stuff on it. I probably should. That way the hashtags can get a little bit more, spread out, a bit more, variety, rather than like, hey, look at this. This guy's got bronze buttons. Oh, look at this guy. He's got gold buttons, but they're on the same fucking team. Oh, whoop-de-doo. Napoleonics. Stand in line and get shot.
Napoleonics is the best. Honestly, it's so fucking good. Having so much fun with it. We're also on Facebook, so go and check us out over there. No other social media channels needed. We do have Discord, so if you wanna get in on the Discord server, I believe there is a link on the Facebook page.
Also, there is now a Patreon thingy I made again.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I made.
Yeah,
I remade the Patreon because it was kind of, I forgot about it for a while that we had one. So it's been remade. Our little cool skull sticker is the highest tier you can get. You get a free sticker if you're in there for 3 months. It's not exactly like, you're going to get a $2 sticker for, spending $25, $50, $75. $75. Oh, yeah, $75 on a membership. But, it's up to you. There's all sorts of other benefits in there. Most of them are not really benefits. We just say thanks for coming, etc., etc. We're just going to be honest. We just want your money. The money will go towards, I don't know, just Patreon account. More than likely, it's just going to go to pay for the monthly Podbean because it's $20 a month. And if I'm not doing podcasts...
No, I thought it was free.
Podbean? No, I've upgraded to the good plan because we get too many people downloading. And I don't want to risk, not letting people be able to download for free. So I take that to pay for it. So if you want to jump on, the minimum tier is $1. We say thanks to you and mention you in all the dispatches and yada, 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 and all that bullshit. Yep. That's pretty much it for Patreon. Go and sign up or else you suck. Just don't suck.
I think that's how it works.
Yeah, I think you just...
I think that's how it works.
No, I've learned this from the Donald Trump. You just tell people that they're terrible people if they don't sign up. So, if you don't do it, you suck, and people don't like you, and the government will take away your guns. All right, thank you.
Well, at what point though do we stop counting the patrons?
Only if we're losing them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure that we're
Pretty
clear on
standard
that.
stuff. Standard stuff.
Yeah, cool.
So we've
Oh,
got.
should we let's kick into some new food.
Yep.
Oh no, look at that other thing. Remember that other thing?
You're gonna have to remind me what the other thing is. I got the numbers of the episodes confused. I was saying 69 when I should have said 64.
That's a good point. Hey, look, we wanted to do a bit of a shout out. Unfortunately, about a month ago, the New Zealand wargaming community very, very suddenly and unexpectedly lost a great member of the community, a really all-round good guy, Phil Petrie. He worked on a number of games with Battlefront and Gale Force 9, Firefly. He worked on Star Trek Ascendancy. He worked on Doctor Who. He worked on a whole heap of games. I saw him at NewtCon, which is a Team Yankee tournament that I ran 2 weeks before he passed, and it's it really hit us hard. Very unexpected. I turned up at the Battlefront offices on a Tuesday afternoon, and they just heard, and it was just sad. So for Phil's family and friends and anyone who had the genuine pleasure of knowing him, our deepest sympathies and condolences. Yeah. And just hoping you continue to roll sixes up there, mate.
Yeah, and you'll notice that he's more immortalized. Is written in all your rule books if you bought any one of those games. So his memory lives on in those games. So he's in. He's in Aliens? I saw my name in that.
I don't know if he was working on Aliens or not. I can't. I
definitely know he's in
Doctor.
Doctor Who. Definitely Star Trek, because I avoided that because I don't like Star Trek.
Look, he was so involved in Star Trek that he volunteered to go over to Gen Con to demonstrate the game, like paid out of his own pocket to go over there and get a group of people to demonstrate.
Was it Doctor Who? I don't think it was Star Trek, was it?
Oh, it was Star Trek.
I don't remember. They're both games. I'm not a fan of Doctor Who, as you know, but is his name in it?
No.
My name's
Phil Petrie. He is in Aliens, which is due to come out soon.
Yeah, so am I. So if the game's perfect, thank me. I was integral to that game. If it's Poe's, blame Greg because he's Poe's. But those are some of the cool games coming out from Gale Force. So when's Aliens due out?
Pre-orders are up at the moment. As I understand it, they are due out at the end of the year.
Oh, hang on. No, it's November. Okay, cool. Yep. I thought we were in a new year and we'd have to wait till the end of another one.
The problem with that will be that England's going into lockdown again shortly. So if anything's going through the Battlefront warehouse in England, then there could be problems with shipping and who knows what. So we just have to wait and see.
Good old lockdown. So that was another call out if you're buying stuff to literally buy it all now because shipping is going to shut down across. Even though Australia and New Zealand are basically COVID free, everything you buy is imported, toy soldier wise. So it is wise to buy everything, especially paintbrushes. Holy shit, those are running out. Good ones, I mean, even the rubbish army painted ones are running out. So it's like, oof. So I've loaded.
I get mine from Spotlight anyway.
What you borrow house painting brushes from Damien?
Oh no, I get my brushes from Spotlight. They're just really cheap synthetic ones. They're great.
I had to buy a couple of synthetic crap ones the other day, and I was like, well, these are just my withering and absolutely destroy you brushes. It's not going to be great for the next how many months this shit's going to last. It's going to be even great over Christmas, so your kids are going to miss out. So, but hey, at least we've got PlayStation 5s and Xboxes and shit. Anyway, we should move on to noob news. Damien, if you want to make the obnoxious noise. Cool. So, as you may or may not notice,
good contribution.
Entire edition of Warhammer 40k came out, 9th edition. It's pretty much just like the old one, except you now need to focus more on objective control than you did beating the shit out of the other guy. The first game I watched of it, the other guy got tabled and still won. because he had more stuff on the objectives and played the objective. So that's a nice change for the game. It's been done to death, I imagine, in like a billion other podcasts. So I won't talk too much about it. So that's happened.
Have you bought any of the rules or any of the codexes or anything like that?
I've got the rule book that came with the Indominus box set. I have not bought a codex because I
Did you
don't
get the
play.
Indominus box set?
Yeah, I got it. I don't have the Space Marine Codex because I'll get that later on. Depend if they release chapter specific ones. Looks like they are releasing Blood Angels soon. But
I got the Necron Codex.
You did
I even went and paid. Yeah, I even went and paid full retail
at Games Workshop. You fool!
at
Crazy
the
fool.
Games Workshop.
He's out of
What?
craziness. Yeah, don't you? Yeah. Like I remember one time I walked into a Games Workshop and they mistook me for you, which was like a massive
Oh,
offense.
Greg.
No, I can't remember which one it was. It was in where was it? St. Luke's, when they had a Games Workshop in St. Luke's. And the guy asked me, it's like, hey, aren't you the guy who like says wouldn't you catch fire if you walked in here? And I'm like, no, you're thinking of Damien. Yeah. And I was like, oh, bro, I'm allowed to walk into Games Workshop. I am here for your Nuln Oil, and and that is it. That's the only thing I ever went to the Games Workshop for: the Nuln Oil and an occasional Black Library book. It's like, oh, would you like to buy a new Land Raider? It's like, I ain't got a spare $150 for a plastic tank. Jesus. Or whatever.
Actually, it was kind of weird going in there to buy the Codex because the last thing I bought from them were my 2 Imperial Armor books. Before that, actually
geez.
in store. That was a long time ago.
Jeepers, that is a.
You still use those?
Yeah, I still read them.
They're good for looking
But
at the
there's an
pictures.
update coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to buy the Forge World update because I only need like 1.5 pages from it. So I'll just maybe find it online.
So, Jesus.
There you go.
So let's see. Death Watch and Space Wolves are out. The newer books are coming. So, and in 3 days you can buy the Terminator Chaplain, which is interesting because it looks almost identical to the other Terminator Chaplain. And
That's different.
Isn't
And
he
it-
the one out of the Dark Angels box?
No, it's Terminator, and that one's different. And he's wearing Terminator armor, which is odd because I thought they were in the process of de-olding these Marines.
Firstborn is still there.
Huh? Firstborn is still around, but they're slowly discontinuing them. Like you can't buy sets of motorcycles, and they're just going away. They'll just be phased out, so that they'll only be on the second-hand market, and then eventually they'll be like, right, all Marines are now Primaris Marines, and Terminator armor will just be a memory.
They'll be relegated to the outer reaches where nobody knows where they've gone. They'll all become crusading chapters, and then they're like, see you.
Yeah. Or they'll all just cross the river.
I still want to do a full Terminator army. I might do that for 30k though.
Yeah, for 30k it's good fun doing a Terminator armor, but you're usually slow and you can't do all the things that fast guys need to do. What are they releasing? Also, they've got a new what do you call them? Tool. A Games Workshop. Where is it? A more
The new butt plug.
a more slimline butt plug. That's what I thought it was. It was like, wow,
Yeah.
that's really designed to
That's
fit
right.
inside. I don't know when that's out because it's
Right.
not on their website. No, they've run out of
It's
the
slightly more bulbous at the end with a thinner handle.
Yeah.
Just right for you.
just
Dan.
right for the little-handed people. So that's very very handy. But I don't mind the big one. Oh, regretful words. Jesus Christ. Sometimes I have to remember what I'm saying, you idiots. Apparently you can get the box art frames, so that's weird. So that's it. Oh, you can get
New painting handle
hoodies.
is on pre-order on the web store.
Cool. All right. Well, that's enough.
$12.50.
That's enough free advertising for Games Workshop. I'm sure they get enough of that.
They fuck.
Jesus Christ. What? Team Ranky price rise and sale. What? Oh. Okay. So, just on the Battlefront webpage. So, blah, 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 coronavirus. So, I'm on Battlefront's webpage. So I should have read this before I started. So cool. Let me read it out verbatim. The unfolding events of 2020 have taken their toll across the world, and not only on people but on organizations and infrastructures. The problems caused by coronavirus-related disruptions to the global supply chain has resulted in numerous cost increases and COVID-19 based surcharges, particularly in the area of international freight and logistics. Can confirm, as I've sent something to Germany, it absolutely fucks you. So what postage is doing? They're doing volumetric shipping now. So,
oh, wow.
So you are paying for your item instead of like, how much it would cost to get your item and like everyone else's item. It's like you're paying for that space on the plane instead of having it like subsidized like you would if it was going with like 400 other packages. And because there's not passenger planes going backwards and forwards between countries, it's only like slow flights and courier flights. And that shit's expensive. Anyway, I continue. It has always been our policy to absorb these costs as possible in the effort to shield our customers, both retailers and gamers alike, as we understand the pain that everyone is feeling during these troubling times. However, having held the line for many years, we find ourselves with no option but to review some of our pricing from the start of 2021. From the 14th of January 2021, we'll be changing the prices on all 15mm plastic and all 15mm book products. Okay. The change is restricted to just these codes. Okay. We have never modified pricing. We have never modified the pricing on plastics from when the very first tank came out almost a decade ago, and the book pricing has remained unchanged for over 6 years. All of these products will still be great value, especially to the Army starter deals. And starter sets. I can confirm they are cheap as chips, which have been an unbelievable discount to help people get in the house. Whilst the Army books still remain cheaper under this new pricing than they were 10 years ago. We know that that you understand this decision will not. We know that you understand that this is not a decision that we take lightly. Oh, that was hard to read. Nor is it something that we wanted to rush into, which is why we're signaling the change well in advance. By holding off the changes until the new year, we believe that we're giving you the chance to pick up any models of book from your local retailers over the coming months as we run up to Christmas. As part of the upcoming change, and to give everyone an excuse to celebrate going through 2020 with some new models in their collection, we're going to have a sale on our 15mm plastic and book ranges. Oh, okay. And we'll in November. It's November now. It
starts on the 12th.
Oh, the 12th? What the fuck? Okay. So the lowest value. Okay. This is the important part. This is what I should just read first. Ignore all the stuff about high prices, which probably, if I look at them, they're going to be like, not that big. If you ever bought Games Workshop and you go ahead and you buy, oh no, they increased my prices by. I'm going to check the price change. It'll be negligible, no doubt. Anyway, we're going. So
they haven't indicated what the change is yet, though. They're going to do that in 2021.
They have a PDF. Oh no, it's a sale list. Okay, so we'll check in 2021 to compare with 20. Okay, so we're going to keep things nice and simple. So the offer is to buy 2 and get a 3rd free. The lowest value item is free, but 3 of the same item gives you an entire platoon of tanks for free. I keep saying the word tanks. So you can mix and match across the assortment, yada yada yada. All local gaming stores have been offered to encourage them to do the same deal, or better check with Mighty 8. But as usual, Mighty 8 will probably be behind in stock because it's in New Zealand. So I'm just going to take a cheeky look at what's for sale.
There's quite a lot of stuff in that period here.
So books, they got all the books. Cool. Okay, so they've got a lot. So basically everything that was plastic. Okay.
Yeah, it's the whole plastic range, the whole book range, because the prices on those are going up.
Damn. God damn. So literally, okay, so we got a World War II. That's weird. They got the Magak 6 platoon in the Team Yankee, but they don't have the, what's the other tank? The Merkavas.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're plastic. So unless that means they're not going up in price, I don't know. But the most important one is the World War III American, and literally all the new stuff is going is in here for the 3-for-1. So I could probably get myself planes, and November this year might be a time to spend some coins. So, both on Team Yankee and what's this? Team Yankee and what do you call this other game? Flames of War regular, World War II. The only
thing I'd consider getting is probably the FJ book, because I don't have that still. And that's only a small book anyway, so it's quite cheap as it is, isn't it?
Let's have a look. What
is it there, though?
Is it even a book, or do you just make up books and
Airborne, or no, the Airborne thingy? What's it?
D-Day? No, it's not a real book, Damien. You just made it up.
Yeah, no, it was a little like a little supplement thingy.
I never heard of this. Well, it's not on the list, and you're making stuff up. There's no such thing. Now Greg has walked off in disgust. That's how terrible you've treated him. Oh, Death from Above.
Death from Above.
That's like $6.
That one?
Well, I don't have it. Yeah, that one. How come you won't let me borrow it?
Because you'll never see it again.
I can see it again.
Okay, so there's some good bargains to be had there. Like a 2 buy 3 get 1 free, the lowest value item. So that is cool. I should have picked up on that earlier. So there will be a price rise next year, but it's all COVID related, and everyone loves COVID. The release of their city ruins, they look pretty awesome. Nice big L shapes where you can mix and match them to be like big buildings. I remember seeing these at Battlefront and thinking, whoa, these are huge. They're not just small, they're really big, ruins.
They're like 7 or 8 stories.
Yeah.
Oh, no, maybe 4 or 5 stories when they're
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For about 5 stories tall, if you count the ground floor. But they're pretty tall, and they're big. When I saw the original at Battlefront, I was like, sweet, these must be coming out soon. And it took ages, because I think there was issues with the plastic. But Chris has got a video on them where he touches them and flexes them and says what he likes about them. But yeah, they're pretty cool. So Flames of War has gone through a couple of books since we've been gone. They did the Waffen SS. I do believe they did the British as well. And now they're up to Bagration. So they're rushing through these late war books to get you the things that you love. Now they get up there. So
Bagration Soviets is out, and I think Bagration Germans is due early in the new year from memory.
I can check the little releasey doodads. No, so all October is Russians. What a surprise. And doesn't actually go into November just yet. Which is probably be updated tomorrow. Hang on, today's Thursday. Refresh. I should have refreshed the page.
No, they would have already updated it already.
Have they? Oh, that'll be where I learned about all the things, right? Okay. Cool. Good work, mate. So scrolling on, they've got some World War III stuff that's also come out with the new Soviets. World War III replaced out the Americans. So they've got the T-80 Shock Company. So that's a whole plastic box set, I do believe, and it's a big boy. It's got 2 Su-25s, is that them? Yep, Su-25s, a couple of Hinds, 3 of the anti-tank truck things, 2 of the anti-aircraft things, 2 BMP-3s, and 5 T-80s. T-80s are very expensive. I watched them in a game. They did well, if I remember correctly. The opposite of poorly. So against some other guys, Americans, I think the other person was playing. But we're going to get some more Team Yankee here now that we've got about 5 players down here convinced to play it. So it should be pretty cool.
Sweet.
Get a few games in at club.
Are they all picking something different?
Yes. So we've got Russian player, because they're rare as hen's teeth for some reason. My brother has an Israeli force that I'm painting for him. I, of course, have my labs, and I've realised I was about to buy another box of, what do you call those green big tanks? Abrams. And I was like, oh my god, I don't have enough Abrams. It's like, I have 15. It's like, sweet, that's more than enough. And one guy's got English, and he...
British, mate. British, not English.
Same thing. And he's also got... What else has he got? I think he's got American as well. So he's got 2 armies already. It's like, needs to slow down.
That's pretty good.
Like, pull the chain. There's actually a T-55 AM company in there, Damien. Pretty exciting stuff. I don't know if that was on the list. I didn't see it. So you probably get, because you'd need a horde of those because they're cheapest chips. It'd be nice to see the TOS-1 thermobaric rocket launcher battery. I don't know what its stats are. Because I know it's out.
Yeah, I haven't seen them.
And of course the card pack. Gale Force 9 has kind of changed Tanks, the game, to be World of Tanks, merging kind of with the video game. So you can actually buy this in like regular stores, not just, gaming stores. You can buy it at normal retailers like big box retailers, things like that. It's exactly
Barnes and Noble.
It's basically Barnes and Noble, whatever that is. I think it's a bookstore, but you'd probably be best to buy it online now because COVID. And it's basically just tanks still.
It is the same.
Yeah, it's just tanks. But now
So just all they've done is they've gone and updated the cards so that they're a little bit more, I guess, gamery in terms they look like a computer game kind of thing rather than what they were before. At its core, I think the rules are exactly the same.
Yeah,
a bit more console-y on the look.
Well, they're just great.
Yeah.
Of course, Battlefront are running their
I think it's a good partnership, right? Because you get the crossover between the gamers and the online gamers and the tabletop gamers, so you might be able to.
Greg keeps cutting in and out. Why do you keep cutting in and out, Greg? You go quiet, then you go loud. Where's your microphone?
Yeah.
You stop moving it under your collar. So that's cool. Yeah. So you do get the crossover between those guys, gamers and board gamers occasionally. I imagine there's some sort of Venn diagram that crosses over when they've had enough of playing tanks online that they go play tanks on the tabletop. And it's a quick game, it's a small game, and it's similar to X-Wing, so as we all know. What else they got? They're still doing the Share Your Hobby week, week 30 of the Battlefront Lockdown competition, which is like kind of amazing that it's gone on so long. Where on their Facebook page you share pictures of your works in progress and the changes and the things you're doing with your Flames of War and Team Yankee armies, and you get that going. What else is new? Anything new from Warlord, Greg? Since you seem to be balls deep in their profile.
I'm not balls deep in their profile.
They're always like, I love you on Instagram. Let me send you all these toys.
They love me on Instagram. They're doing my stuff. So they got a Black Friday sale coming
they do
up.
too.
Actually, it's on now.
Yeah, browse all deals.
It's on now, so
oh shit, Damien!
All sorts of stuff going on there.
Damien,
what?
You got £106 and 50 pence? Because you can start a Napoleonics army.
No.
Yeah, you can do it. You can play with Greg and Monkey and all the cool kids.
I read the book to make them feel like they were achieving something at club.
Did you actually read the book?
6 of us.
I did.
Did you just look at the pictures?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
No, he was thinking about what army he wants to create.
He'd create like the dumbest one there is, so probably like poor as shit Russians.
Spanish.
Oh yes,
Spanish militia.
Spanish militia.
The Spanish militia, all Russians with the poorly armed peasants.
Or Pulcini.
Oh, Pochinki, run away. That's right. Warlord also...
you can't do Russians, I'm doing Russians.
Warlord also released Victory at Sea while we were gone. But I watched... I was actually at a club when someone decided to play Victory at Sea, but they were playing the original Victory at Sea. And it was pretty awesome to watch. It was an updated version of Victory at Sea. I think it was Victory at Sea 2 before they went and sold to Warlord to release their own. But they were playing in 1/2400 scale, the true scale for boat wars. This one isn't in 1/2400 scale, I don't think, and the boats all have bases on them, and it's just it's messy. I do not like the look of it, and I was trying to buy the rulebook itself, but I couldn't find anywhere to buy the damn thing. So it's like really, really strange to buy it, but that was unusual. I'm just trying to look at a boat, and of course, they're resin now. Yeah, they're resin, like big chunks of resin, but they're really nice resin. But they've got bases on them, and I think that kind of ruins the look of them. I don't know how it plays. I haven't bothered to look at a game online. I really should. to see what it's like. But once again, very lazy.
On tabletop, I've got a playthrough on their site from memory.
Oh, okay. I will have a quick look-see at that. Oh, Damien, do you know if you spent that £106.50, because it's over £25, you get free shipping.
I wonder if I make that much picking strawberries a week.
Probably not.
You do.
Well, you probably do.
You do.
Just pick more strawberries, and then you can be like, "Oh, now I can play Napoleonics with the cool kids." Like, oh, no.
Yeah, I'm going to fund it with my strawberry money.
Oh, jeez. What else is there? They got anything new? You seen, Greg?
You should get. No, I can't see anything new there. You should get that set though, because if you go halves with someone, there's 2 full armies in there. You get a British army and a French army.
Now the problem is you'd have to play Napoleonics.
Ugh.
You should next time you're at club, play someone else's army, and just like you did that one time with Age of Sigmar, before you absolutely shat all over it, and they changed the entire version, and you still hate it to this day just because of that one game you played.
I still have no idea how I won that game. It was just a load of shit.
Because you used the axe of super duper murder. That axe still exists as well. In Age of Sigmar, the cornet axe is like if you hit someone and they fail a save, they're just gone. They're dead. I can't remember what it's called. It may be gone because I don't follow Age of Sigmar because some days I'm like, yeah, I want to give that a go, and then other days I'm like, I watch a game where some dude's got 4 guys and a bunch of skeleton dudes, and it's like, and I win. It's like, oh, cool, this sucks. Although the Gargants, the new Games Workshop charts look cool, but it's like they're $300.
Well, Monkey's rebasing his
Nagash.
His gash. He's rebasing his gash.
His tiny 820mm Nagash on a giant base to say it's Nagash.
Yeah, he's going to put
thinking
it over
about
into Kings of War.
Thinking about doing it.
No, he's going to put it into Kings of War.
Oh, cool.
He's just started playing that again. So I'm going to give him a game of that. I'll probably hook up with him next club, actually. I'll see if he wants to do that.
Yeah. What? Actually, who has been quiet and probably hasn't been quiet is Mantic. But that doesn't seem right.
No, Kings of War.
Oh, that's right. Armada. Kings of War Armada. So that is a boat game. But it's basically it's not Dreadfleet. But it's
Man of War.
Yeah, it's not Man of War, but it's Armada. So I imagine that's pretty fun. I've seen some videos of it, but I haven't watched them yet. I've just been really slack in watching videos of people do shit. I've just been watching what have I been watching? I'm watching painting videos a lot, which is a bit of a pain in the butt because I don't get stuff done because I'm watching people paint instead of actually painting. It's a terrible what's the word I'm looking for?
Time wasting exercise.
Yeah, it's a time wasting exercise. I'm getting any excuse not to do something. So that's pretty interesting that they've got that. Anything else in the game world? Did you have? Oh shit!
Hero Quest.
Oh yeah, how's that going? Oh, that came back out. That's right. Hasn't it already been
crowdfunding? So you can
if you're in New Zealand, you can pre-order it through Mighty Ape.
Correct.
But for
it's still part of the. $329.
Bargain.
Christ.
For a game that so many years ago cost you $30 to get the exact same game for $329. It's like I do believe they could fuck right off.
Well, it's the nostalgia factor in inflation, bro.
That inflation is like Games Workshop version of inflation. It's like up.
Bro,
exactly. Remember,
bro, how about their prices, man?
That game. What they could have done is they could have re-released the exact same game and sent it to retailers and sell it for like $60 or whatever a board game goes for these days, 60 to 100, and people would have bought shit tons of it.
In the
good board games, not fucking Hero Quest. It was just a basic game. Jesus. But yeah, $329. They can just like no, go away.
I'll just wait for a copy to come back onto the secondary market.
I also forgot to mention that Battlefront are doing new bags.
Oh yeah. And new dice tins.
So those, I'm gonna, as usual, I'm gonna go full FOMO and buy at least two. One for the Team Yankee with the sweet red camouflage, and one just green or tan. Or actually, I might get one of each. Might get 3 bags because I have lots of stuff.
How different are they to the old?
They're
Flames of
square.
War
They're like
bags?
cubes. They look like little cooler bags on a cube size. But they mention how they've got room for all your tanks and whatnot, and your big tanks and your little tanks and stuff like that. The only issue as a man of means and travelling, I need to know if they're going to fit in the overhead locker on a 767 Dreamliner. But, you know, they may or may not. Well, and also I need to know if they're going to fit on an AR-72 or ATR-72, because the last time I tried to put my bag on AR-72, it wouldn't close the door. It wouldn't fit properly. I was like, what the fuck's going on here? It's like, man, I had to take my tape measure out and carry it in my pocket. Was not impressed with that. Yeah, that's all right. Just ask me about my 2 flights back from Auckland. Oh no, I'll tell you about those when we talk about what we did during lockdown and not really lockdown, because we didn't really have one. Oh, I didn't. You did. Shame losers. But I can't really find anything else on the internet. There'll be someone who points out, it's like, oh, you guys missed talking about the big blah blah blah.
One thing
One
I
other
will
thing
talk
coming
about
out,
since
so
we're
night
talking about the
models.
other bits.
Oh shit! Two
Hey,
people.
shut up, man. Shut up, Greg. Shut up. Let me have a go, because I hardly say anything anyway. Is I did look at the new Necron shit that's come out, right? And I wanted to get the Silent King. So
We already did 40k. Fuck off.
No, and I went, nah. And then I looked at the monolith as well. So I dug out, the old monolith that I got, Dan, off Dad, and it was a little bit damaged and stuff. And I thought, oh yeah, I'm going to use that and convert it up to the Silent King. Well, I'm just going to keep it as a monolith.
Yep.
And then they showed a side-by-side comparison with the new one, and they go, the new one is bigger, it's better, blah blah blah. And the side-by-side comparison, the new one is actually smaller than the old one. It's like, yeah, what?
Oh,
Bigger price, but
telling lies. Yeah. I saw someone bought. Did I tell you someone bought the Void Dragon to club the other day?
yeah, it's quite cool, eh?
No. It's an A4. It's an A4. Well, his rules might be cool, but it's an A4 size box. The box is about 1 inch thick. Instead of like cutting the sprue in half, they just made it one big sprue, and they want 200, or I think he got it for 200 New Zealand dollars.
Jesus.
Okay.
It's pretty expensive for I think, and I was like, oh, he's got lots of options, and he's got like 2 or 3 faces, so yeah, totes worth it. So yeah, he builds one kit with lots of little squiggly wigglies on it, but yeah, it's a bit mental for prices.
I think I'd rather get a bloody super heavy tank for 30k. It's about the same price, isn't it?
Oh yeah, my brother put his Baneblade, which has about 7 options for it, which he purchased for $160 next to it. Yeah, so it's kind of like a misconception. Their pricing's all up the shit. So it's normally their whole ethos of like, this is a character and therefore it's worth this many points, therefore it's worth this many dollars. Instead of like, this is a Baneblade, it has 7 different kinds of options you can add to it. It is big tank, it is like, Lord of War, but it's not a character and it's not new. So $160. But yeah, their pricing's all kinds of stupid. I think they just try to recoup the cost of the initial mold making. But I don't know, I'm not in their heads. It is indeed a strange world we live in. Anything else? Anyone else? Anything else in the world?
Nah.
Yeah. So Night Models is about to release a new Kickstarter for their Harry Potter series of games. They're doing a Quidditch game, which actually looks quite interesting. So I'm going to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I'll give them
I see why this is last. Yeah, no thanks. I'm not a fan of Harry Potter because I'm an adult. Yeah, that's all.
Are you though?
What? No, I don't. I went. The amount of times I've watched the first Harry Potter voluntarily. I watched like the 4th one at the movies, and that's it. And then I think I managed to accidentally watch one with some ghosts in it or some shit. They were trying to take
I don't know, the best
some guy away.
One of the best parts was when Doobie died. That was cool.
Oh.
It was like,
Dobby.
Harry, I'm dying. It's like, dead.
Oh,
I don't know what any of these mean,
Harry's-
but that's okay. I'm not really worried. So, I don't like
Let's
Harry
go.
because I'm an adult. Anyway, that's it for new news. Where it was sort of longish, but it was not of. Hopefully, it was a
been
bore
away
to
for
you.
7 fucking months.
Well, that's
Yeah, it's not like we ramble or anything.
it's not that. That's not my fault. I'm just going to add right here. I was always roaring and ready to go. So I personally blame Damien and Greg, mostly because Greg's like, I had to get a new job, and Damien's all like, I don't want to. And it's like, oh, fair enough. and as usual, Mike bitches out every time. So thanks, Mike, for not showing up as usual.
Bro, did you see he's accepted as he's going to go on some other podcasty bullshitty
What?
thing? He posted up today. Oh, Dance's game. What?
What?
He got invited.
He's going
he
on.
got invited to
He's
some.
going.
Going where?
He's given us a miss because he's found something infinitely better. I mean, I hold no grudge against him
I
whatsoever.
hold all the grids. It's like, let's see what's going on.
He's
As
being
a just-
interviewed
good.
for the Historical Miniature Gamer Society event to
Oh,
talk about Ironclad.
Okay. No, that's all right because that would be really boring. It's like, this is my boat made out of metal. It shows that my other boats are not made out of metal. It's like, and then American Civil War boat games. It's like, oh, Mike, niche markets much.
Actually, a really
I don't know
he's
because
done
listen, I don't know. I just shit on it based on the idea. I ain't seen it. I didn't read his rules. He might have shared the rules and said, "Hey guys, can you check this out and read it?" And I might have replied, "Hey, that's cool," but I didn't read it. God.
I tell you what, I was pretty impressed with him last night though. How he held it together when he was getting interviewed on the news.
Yes, he
So
did.
that was
He did
quite
manage to
funny.
make it onto the news, which was quite funny. I need to go and find that bit just to see how drunk Mike reacts because he may have been talking about a certain politician he does not like at all.
Drunk Mike reacts to politics in the United States.
It's like, oh no. It's like you've triggered it. You've triggered his card. It's like, what's next? It's like, ask him about World War I battleships. Oh, like, oh no, please don't. It's like ask him about obscure units from the Maryland Brigade in 18. I was like, oh no, stop talking. You'd never end with him. Never end with him. Anyway,
that's a good place to leave.
we love
come
you,
back for
we
part
love you, Mike. But if you could just come back to the fucking podcast you started, that'd be great.
He did start it,
Yeah,
didn't he?
Mike.
He did.
Yeah,
He
Mike.
did. He's like,
No, he did.
he's like,
He's
he's
fine.
like, Daniel and Greg, come do a podcast. We're like, oh, suppose. So he did. Anyway,
The rest is
yep. And we're gonna end record. Do we spam enough to like stuff? Yeah, we're cool. Need tokens, terrain, or custom Battlefield accessories? BattleKiwi.com has you covered. With a wide range of laser cut MDF and acrylic, it has something to suit everyone's wargaming needs. Ranging from the battlefields of World War II to the far future of Infinity, BattleKiwi.com has it all. Visit BattleKiwi.com, and for a 5% discount, use the code BEL5. Dice of War. Dice of War supply custom and historical wargaming dice and accessories. Unique designs to suit your gaming requirements. Visit the online store today at diceofwar.com.au.
Welcome back. Welcome back to part 2 of the Behind Enemy Lines podcast, episode not 69. We're going to just tell you what's been going on of late down here in the New Zealand wargaming scene. There's been a couple of tournaments recently. There's been that we've attended. I'm sure there's been other tournaments as well that we haven't been to, but if we weren't there, they can't have been that good. Do you want to start
not
with
true.
your...
That's right.
Oh, okay. All right, carry on. Do you want to start with the big one?
Yes,
I was not at.
the big one. Yes, we'll do FlamesCon 2020. Jeepers Creepers talk about almost like... Woo. So as you may have known from our May podcast, which you didn't know, actually, that Panzerschreck that we normally attend and get very, very, very drunk at was cancelled due to COVID-19. Thanks, you prick. All airline tickets were credited, as it were. And I was really angry, real sad, and I was like, damn it, that's annoying, boo-hoo. And then I was like, call up the air company, and I was like, oh, FlamesCon is on. So they had that, and I was like, oh, sweet, I'll book the tickets.
Did they know
for
what
that.
FlamesCon was?
What?
Did the airline company know what FlamesCon was? That's awesome.
Well, yeah, because I was like, oh, you may have heard of it. It's like this Flames War event. It's pretty cool. And the lady on the phone is like, oh, yeah, that's all I ever talk about. And she's like, hey, are you that superstar from the Behind Enemy Lines podcast? And I'm like, yeah, that's me. And of course,
No, I'm Dan, not Greg.
Oh, you wish. And she's like, oh, would you like me to upgrade you to the Corey Lounge and stuff? And I was like, oh, of course, why not? Anyways, so I got my tickets transferred over to that, and I've still got some change to buy another flight to I don't know, Palmerston North or something, or Gore. But I flew up.
Gore.
It was pretty cool, but it was almost cancelled because you Aucklanders, unfortunately, caught yourself a bit of COVID and managed to have your little town shut down, which is not great for anyone in the world, as you can imagine. And it was so close to the event being shit canned. I was like, oh no, not having to cancel another set of tickets. But fortunately for us in the world, it was not. And we got to attend 2 days of awesome toy soldiering. How'd it go? I took British Commandos, which were a hoot, to say the least. But they could have done better in a few games. Most likely my first game was a complete wipeout. I screwed up. Although I had crocodiles, they have 18 shots with their flamethrowers. I forgot they need to shoot with them, so you have to hit stuff. And if Germans are sitting still in trenches, you still need sixes to burn them out. Then for some reason I forgot about the 8-inch bubble, because the person I was playing had half tracks and they were constantly retreating in the face of big guns. And I messed it up, and I didn't kill a single platoon. I lost 8-1. I was very sad. Very sad. I was like, oh my god, I can't win.
Who did you play against?
Honestly, I can't remember all their names. I'm terrible at this. I don't write names down. I forget people's names and faces. But I know I played Bob, and I know I played a lot of heavy tanks, and the commandos. I only have one Piat, right? One Piat and maybe some M10s, 17s. But I only had one Piat in each squad. Wasn't like a cheaty paratroopers where I had anti-tank bombs. And I managed to win 3 8-1s.
Wow.
And I lost the last game 7-2 to Dad, because he bum rushed me with rubbish tanks. And you knew Dad was just
Were there a lot of IS2 lists?
A lot of what?
IS2 lists, because it was just after Bagration had been released.
There was only Phil Petrie's list, which was being used by TOs and people who could only play one-day events. It was a good game. I came mid-tier, high mid-tier, under 10, 8th, I think. If I want to say that. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Damien, you took the exact same list you took last time. Is that correct?
No.
Oh, you took less stuff because it was 80 points.
I took less stuff, yeah. I took 8 Stugs and a full FJ. Nah, they did all right. I lost some. I won one.
Yeah.
And I ended up with 16 points, so yeah.
That's pretty good.
Better than usual.
Yeah, normally.
Yeah, I was killing platoons. And that was basically me just hooning up the middle with the FJ platoon, 14 strong platoon, and I'd generally leave the HMGs behind a little bit back to cover an objective or a firing point, and the rest of the boys would just go and murder some infantry or jump on a tank, and the Stugs would just motor around the sides and shoot shit up. It's good.
Yeah, it's
fun.
It's kind of crazy how what's the word? Like I won games and I thought I would absolutely lose them against heavy tank lists. Like I honestly thought when I was up against Bob's list and the IS2 list, and I think it was another heavy tank list as well, I was gonna get like dumpstered on and just lose like over and over. But I did what I thought was best and just I played aggressively. I think my favorite game was against the IS2s. So many times I tried to attack, because if I attack, I can night attack. but I never got to attack because everyone else is like, I didn't get the right missions because everyone's like maneuver or defend, or they didn't pick defend because they're all heavy tank companies, so they picked maneuver. But my favorite mission was against the IS-2 companies and running into the bushes and absolutely murdering some Russians. I got across the table in, I think, 3 turns because of how fast commandos move. Well,
move, yeah, tactical.
Well, any infantry move really, but I like to pretend it's commandos are better than regular infantry. But they got over there, and I managed to get everything right. I managed to drop in heavy machine gun bombardment, which is actually really good if you're British. You can bombard with your heavy machine gun. It's quite good at pinning things down and actually can kill the odd dude or dudette. And the mortar bombards. I pinned the Russians, and it was quite cool. I dropped no, I didn't drop smoke, even though I could. Smoke's also awesome, but I managed to destroy one tank and some IS-2 battalions and force them back with my happy Piet. But then I rushed into a squad of quite a big squad of Russians and just started going to work with the knives, because commandos murder on 2s, which is fantastic. And I took the objective, but you have to hold it for that turn. So he moved up with so I have to end my turn holding the objective. So he moved he had to move his Katyushas up to contest. As you can imagine, you're moving trucks up to contest, you're in the poo then. His tanks couldn't go at the not what's above tactical, the fast speed.
You've got terrain.
Dash. They can't dash. They couldn't dash. I mean, they could have dashed, but they can't come within so many inches of me, but they can't dash and contest an objective. But the Katyushas drove up, and they could. However, I would just machine gun them as they got too close. That left a clear objective for me, and I was like, oh my god, I've won through absolute bullshit. Like, everything had to come together. Like, my guys had to make it across a massive amount of movement. Like, they were just screaming across the table in broad daylight, and then just jumped into a bush and started stabbing, like, dudes. It was an amazing game, and I was playing against against John in that game, the Tio.
John Lee, yeah,
and it was very good. I enjoyed that quite thoroughly. A lot of good painted armies there, a lot of new armies, a lot of new faces too. Andrew Munro won best painted. He's a member of TK. Now his Germans had the right squiggly wigglies on them, and he had the stankless too. He had was it 3 or 4 of those? What are the giant German 88s that are Pack 88s? The ones
Pack 43s.
Yeah, he had 4 of those, and each one of those he paid for the bullshit card, the Pack Front.
Pack Front.
Yeah, and he didn't win like everyone thought. Oh, that's a cheesy card, you win. And he didn't win. It was quite cool. But he won best painted. First place was
his stuff is really well fucking painted.
Yeah, first place was the guy Rob Sadler. Oh my god, I almost forgot his name. It's been so long. He came first. He was using Brit Paris. He had a little bit more stuff than me, and he had I think he had manual 17 pounders, like walkable ones, but I think they did what they did in most games and they just died. But he also had anti-tank bombs like gammon bombs, which are so much more useful than one Piet and some lucky knives. Dad came somewhere, didn't he? And Sophia second and third, and otherwise round. And
yeah, that's right.
Best table went to the guy whose name completely escapes me. What's his name? AJ. Alistair, yeah, and he got a lovely piece of old Stalingrad terrain from the 2003 Stalingrad book. It's like the shop and the
giant corner shop.
No, it was a giant corner shop. It's huge. If you have the 2003 book, go and have a look through it. It's like the white corner shop.
Like the World War II Russian version of Walmart.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like Vladsmart. Yeah, bargains, many rubles.
Vladsmart. Yeah, yes. Bargains. Come buy yourself new wife.
Yes. No.
Get borscht.
Yeah. But that was pretty cool. I enjoyed the event as
Who
usual.
got the most important fucking prize?
Which one? Oh, the spoon.
Mm-hmm.
That was the guy I came up with, Jason from down here in Invercargill. He had a decent list. We had a practice game, which is normally illegal with any list practicing of the game. It was tigers. It was tigers and Nebweffers, and I think he had some dudes.
Infantry platoon.
Yeah, the infantry
Yeah, he
platoon.
had an infantry platoon.
But I practiced against it, and I just once again went on a stabbing rampage. And I'll tell you what, every time that Piet has got into assault, it has done work. It just goes, hey, you know what's cool? Side armor, thump. And because you shoot into side, like that the thing got me the most. Like, you shoot bazookas in side armor in close combat. Like, you don't go and stab
Yeah,
things.
I felt pretty sorry for Jay when I played him, because his tigers, they shot every round and they didn't hit a single thing.
Yeah.
They didn't take down one Stug, and my Stugs just motored around. FJ, like yours, just went motoring straight up the middle of the board, murdered his infantry, jumped on the tigers, game over.
Yeah,
It's just like, oh yeah.
The practice game we played, it was pretty brutal. I managed to get a night attack because I got attack, he got defend. So I just waltzed up the board. He couldn't see me like at all. And the one time he had potential to see me, he rolled a 1 for his vision. So whole 10 centimeters range on that tiger attack. Good stuff, buddy. So I ran in. I went it straight onto an objective. I basically camped it but my M1017s and my crocodiles can't leave the deployment area. They're stuck there. They're not allowed to move out until daylight. He tried to attack me in a bush, which never works out. One tank was bailed on the way in from the lucky Piet shot. He didn't get daylight, but on my turn, I got daylight. So then I just went on hey, cool, now my tanks can see things. I just started planking things, and literally my tanks did nothing. They slowly drove up the middle to look scary, or the crocodiles just drove around. And by that time, I had a platoon on left flank just go and eat another set of 2 tigers, and they were like, oh, that was cool. I was like, what's that over there? It's like, oh, that's a squad of infantry that has just displaced that little set of dug-in place because I was dropping mortars on them. So they'd moved, and I was like, that's cool. Do you mind if I go over there and stab them to death? And I just walked over and just like, how many 2s can I roll? It's like, all of them.
Oh, please come in.
So that was that, and the objective was secured. So yeah, it was. The thing is with the Tiger Company, everyone thinks, oh cool, this is a big army I can't lose, and then all of a sudden infantry starts swarming, and people were like, oh, it's a tank game, it's a tank game, it's a tank game. It's like, well, you don't know how to play. It's like,
Nah, it's not a tank game.
It's not a tank game. I generally like to say it's a combined arms game, but it's also a player
100%.
game. It's like a good player will dick you with an infantry army 9 times out of 10. It's like,
Even if there is only one Piet.
Yeah. It's like I had 2 Piets in my whole army, and I was just, I was eating big tanks for breakfast. It's like, but when it came to getting swarmed by 10 T-34s, that was not fun. But I did take one of Dad's platoons down in his HQ for that sweet 1 victory point, or 2 victory points just to upset him. And it's like, I'm just going to take away your podium stand here, no first place for you, Dad. And it was ridiculous too. It was literally, I fired 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 shots, and I needed 5s, and I got 7 hits. And I'm like, and I did the whole, I'm shooting at your HQ, and that platoon there. So because he put, he had SU somethings in amongst the platoon of he had two companies. So he had a tank destroyer 1 and a T-34 1 at 80 points, which is pretty hard to pull off, but he managed to pull it off. But I just wanted to get a VP out of them before he just swarmed, and he did with like 1 billion T-34s. I'm like, this is gonna be fun. And I called it pretty much as soon as he ran into those dudes. Yeah, and he was on the way to capture 2 objectives at the same time. So I was like, well, concede, but take away a VP or 2. So that's what's important. But yes, Jason did lose, which was hilarious because he was expected to at least win some VPs, but I think he got the minimum VP he can get is 5, right? I think he got 6.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
He got 6.
6
Yay.
or 7. But it was pretty pathetic. And I was like, wow. It's like all that flight. It's like, ooh, yeah. I tell you what, flight up was like amazing. That's what I was going to talk about. So the flight up was a direct flight. So it takes about 2 hours from Invercargill to Auckland Airport. And we flew over like some crazy scenic places, eh? The plane went like up the kind of middle, so over the Alps, but more towards the right side of the Alps. So that's the Christchurch side of it. And I was looking down, there's all these like really pretty mountains and stuff, and I was, I should have been watching the movies on my phone, but I wasn't, and I was like, ooh, oh, that's pretty. I was like, oh, real nice. Like, oh, yeah, it's real nice. No turbulence, anything. It's like, oh, lovely trip. Oh my God, amazing. And then the kids next to me were like, we bought a bag of snacks. I was like, I didn't bring a bag of snacks. What a dumbass. But at least I got the window seat. So I flew up, and then on the way back was 2 flights.
Hey, don't forget your Uber driver who turned up and,
What abused us
at the airport.
Yeah, GG.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think the funniest bit was when we went to the liquor store and Jason got ID'd.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, he's like 7'7" and it's like, mustachio, beardy, goatee thing, and they're like, ID, please. And I was like, hello. And they didn't ID me or Damien, but, ID'd the giant. But the flight back was bad from the start. So I bought a bag of lollies and I put them in like from a bin, like a bulk buy store, and I put them inside my hoodie pocket. And I got in the seat and I sat in my seat and I was like, okay, cool. And people were already in the way because people don't load planes properly. And I sat in my seat and the seatbelt was like, it felt like it was tight. I was like, oh fuck, what's going on here? It's not fitting. I can't get it around my. And I'm like, did I put on weight since I got off a plane and got on a plane 2 days later? Like how fat did I get? And then it turns out that the lady sitting next to me's actually got her seatbelt plugged into my seatbelt clicker thing. I'm like, oh geez, no wonder. So I'm like, can I have that please? Otherwise I can't, click up my seatbelt and might die if the plane hits turbulence. And we swapped that out and I clicked it in. But I was having trouble clicking it in. I was like, oh my God, it's like, am I really put on that much like weight since I got on the plane? And I'm trying to do it, and then I finally get out, do the whole, and I push right back, and I was like, click, and I was like, oh God, all right, so I can't breathe for the whole hour and a half flight, and I was like, this is gonna fucking suck. Oh, and plane's fine. The lady turns next to me, and she's like, I don't like flying. I get scared if there's any turbulence. Pilot comes over the thing, he's like, attention passengers, expect some turbulence for most of this flight. It's going to be 1.5 hours. We're going into headwinds and it's pretty stormy out there, so keep an eye out for lots of turbulence. We'll keep the seatbelt signs on and we'll give you a cookie at some point. Yeah, have a nice day. Anyway, so she tells me that she's afraid of flying. She doesn't like it. This is like her first time, and of course she's like, middle-aged lady. It's like, well, it's going to be fun. It's like, I might grab your arm during the flight. And I was like, please don't touch me. So I'm sitting there, I'm contracted, I'm like wearing my seatbelt corset. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm gonna pass out. This is annoying. I was like, I've got a pocket full of lollies. I don't need to do this. So what I do is I put on my sunglasses because I got window seat as well. Because I didn't choose I didn't know this about air flights because I'm not a frequent flyer, but I sometimes fly. I always bought the seat with the window seat. You had to pay extra to do that. I didn't realize there's a button down the button that says there's a magic button that just goes assign me whatever seat. So, I was just lucked out that I got a window seat on the way back. Anyway, I put my sunglasses on, trying to act cool, sit down, and I'm like, all right, remember my lollies in my pocket. And I was like, reached in my pocket, and what is the seatbelt cutting into? My artificial gut of lollies. I've got that much candy, that much lollies in my pockets that it's given me, it doesn't let me fit my seatbelt. I wedged it all out, I'm like, it's like out comes the bag of lollies, and my seatbelt's loose again. I'm not fat. I'm just carrying too much lollies. Anyway, I'm acting all fucking staunch, eating my lollies, and then all of a sudden we hit that turbulence they talked about, and it's like, I'm like keeping my sunglasses on, and I'm just doing the cool. It's like I'm just reaching into the bag, and I was like, a jet plane, trying to act all super duper cool, but really I'm like, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. And it was even that shit coming into Christchurch, like it was still like shaky, 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 and they're all like, you know, and I'm like, oh, can't show weakness in front of old ladies. So I just sit there wearing sunglasses.
Did she grab your arm?
Yeah, a couple times. It's like, oh, please don't.
She accidentally grabbed more than your arm?
No, don't be gross. Then because it's not one flight, it's two flights because, you know, why not? We land in Christchurch. Yay, cool. I've been to Christchurch twice, and it's only to the airport, so I don't actually know what it's like. I've only seen it from the air, and there's a lot of empty spaces where houses used to be, so that's how I judged that Christchurch was pretty messed up in the old 2011 earthquakes. Was it 2010? I don't remember. Anyway, I digress. And then I had to get on an even smaller plane, so I was like, GG. So we get on the plane, and we get our seatbelts on, and they come on, and they're like, okay, plane needs to be fueled. Take your seatbelts off.
Oh no.
So, not to get out of the plane, but to get out of the plane just in case the fuel explodes. It's like, that's great. Thanks, guys. GG. So, that was fun. You know, just have your seatbelts undone in case you need to, like, run away. But that second flight back was fine. It was a little bit turbulent, but I was sat next to a Chinese dude who was watching some Chinese movie. Like, I can't read. He had the subtitles, but they're in Chinese. So. But I was watching Interview with the Vampire, so that was cool. At the same time, but with these planes, you have to have the armrest down. When the flight attendant walks past, if you have the armrest up the ground, you say, put that armrest down. And I'm like, well, what's the fucking point of an armrest if we can go up and down? So the little Asian dude next to me was like, should we just put it up? And I was like, yeah, fucking do it, mate. And he puts it up, and we're like, yeah, more arm room for the boys. And then the flight attendant comes out. As the flight attendant's coming in, we quickly sneak it down. We're like school kids, like, put it down. It's like, just like, oh yeah, just watching the movies. So Interview with the Vampire. It's like, you know, this kid never gets old. She stays the same age, and she gets all angry because she's a vampire and shit. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, right. Brad Pitt, Antonio Banderas, bloody Tom Cruise, like everyone's in it. It's a great movie if you haven't watched it. And bloody that guy Christian Slater's in it too. It's like, oh, Mr. Robot's in it. Like, amazing. Anyway, I'm watching that, and it's like you have to, you know, when
He's doing an interview.
Yeah, of course, it's the name. But you know, there's like two titty scenes in it, so you have to kind of like, I had the window seat again, so I was like, and me and the sky are gonna enjoy these 80s titties or 90s titties, and there's no titties, and I put it back. So I hate that. I hate that when I'm watching movies and there's like a sex scene and you're on a plane. Like I watched Crank on a plane one time, and there's one that was on the plane's computer, so it was like not my fault. There's one scene where he has to have sex to stay alive, and he's like lifts up the chick's skirt, and I'm like, oh my god, and this poor Mexican family's next to me heading back to Mexico, and I'm like on this New Zealand flight from Auckland to Los Angeles, and I'm like, oh man, they're probably like super religious Mexican type folks, and I'm like, yeah, watching Craig. He's like, Jason Statham going at it. It's like, oh, this movie is stupid, but I can't sleep. So anyway, I watched that, but that was the most eventful thing about that flight. Also, if Air New Zealand offers you the chips or the cookie, choose the cookie. The Aztec chips aren't great. That's all. They're not even that spicy.
Well, let's stop making Aztec.
So, Greg, how was NewCon?
Hey, how's NewCon?
NewCon was pretty good, eh? So normally at FlamesCon we run a dual tournament, so it's Flames War and Team Inc at the same time. So that didn't quite work out this year. I was away for FlamesCon, so I couldn't attend, and I couldn't help Gavin T.O., which was a bit unfortunate. So rather than depriving the New Zealand wargaming community of its Team Yankee tournament, I ran a standalone tournament 2 weeks earlier or the week before.
Just also FYI, I agree. There's actually a Team Yankee tournament was in Wellington.
When?
I don't know. It was sometime before your one, but the problem is you always miss these like tournament events because there's no single source of repository news anymore. Like on forums and on websites, you used to see it because everyone uses Facebook now. You don't see shit.
Yeah, unless you're a member of all the different wargaming groups and clubs around the country, yeah.
But then
that's usually right. But if it was the Wellington thing, then Macbeth or
Wellington
down there should let us know.
Yeah, I mean, there'll probably be another one next year. So hopefully, if New Zealand is COVID lockdown free, we can all toddle off to that one because Wellington is only, I think, one flight. It's probably like 8 to get back.
It's one for us because we're in Auckland and we're awesome.
Cool.
So that was really good. So we had a total of, it was a smaller event because we weren't sure whether or not we were going to be going ahead or not because of the Auckland lockdown restrictions and all the rest of it slowly being lifted as we got closer to the tournament date. So 10 players all told. Mighty Ape, in keeping with trying to keep players apart and socially distance and all the rest of it, each table was in its own room. Its own air-conditioned room, which was just fantastic. So a good mix of armies. We had Soviets, we had Iraqis, we had Americans, we had British, we had West Germans. No East Germans this year, which was a bit strange.
Missing out, Damien.
Yeah, well, you didn't turn up, mate. That's your own fault. We had pretty good price support as well from both Mighty Ape and Battlefront, which was awesome. The results were Andy Duncan came first with his British. Alistair came second with his Anzacs, which was pretty cool. And Ian came third with West German. So he had it was a Leopard 2 West German list, so very light on stuff because we ran, the tournament was 75 points.
Yeah, and Leopard 2.
And one of those is 11 points.
Yeah, 11 points per tank, so I imagine it'd be pretty thorough. It's like, how many tanks did he have? Like 5?
5.
Bloody hell.
5 tanks, and he had some PAHs, and which again they're like 12 points on their own, and some other stuff as well. So best painted went to Phil Petrie. His so this, like we said at the start, this was the last tournament Phil played in before he passed, and his army, if you've ever seen any of his armies, they are just gorgeous.
They're amazingly well painted. Everything he touches, like he does that thing where he's like, okay, here's the beginning, and it's like, okay, it looks like, it'll need a bunch of work. You know what I mean? When it just looks like if someone's painted a tank, but then he does the weathering, and you're like, did I miss a step? Like if he was to do tutorials, he'd be like, here's a tank. It's like, cool, you've done the basic paint job, awesome sauce. And then he's like, oh, here it is now finished. It's like, wait, did I close my eyes for 5 seconds in this video and a masterpiece appeared? That kind of painting. So yeah, it's an unfortunate loss for everyone. So,
look, just there's like if you can find the event on Facebook, there's photos up there of his army, and it's ridiculous. Best sport went to Phil Yates, which was good. So we had both of the Battlefront riders there. We had Phil and Wayne both playing the day, which is great. And the coveted spoon went to Ray O'Connell.
Nice,
which was really good.
Ray. Well done, Ray.
So it was a good event. What I will say about Mighty Ape events is I think so a 2-day event, tickets were $50 for the event, but that got you lunch on both days, which is pretty good. So a catered event, $50, fully contained rooms, all the rest of it. And if we wanted to buy toys, we could buy them there and pick them up, which was great. I bought my D&D starter set on the day and picked it up there as well, which is quite good.
Nice.
So I think that is going to be it's going to be a permanent fixture on the calendar now. So we'll keep FlamesCon separate as a Flames of War event, and we'll run UCon as a Team Yankee event.
Because FlamesCon attracted 30 players, which is pretty good for lockdown, and over the years you'd seen Flames of War kind of wane in Auckland, as it were. But I think this was pretty good, and I think it could have had more people if there wasn't, the lockdown, the mini lockdown.
Well, yeah. I think the problem as well is that the venue that was the RSA, for 30 players, you're getting towards capacity where it's starting to get a bit uncomfortable if you go beyond that.
You probably get
we've done 40 plus
40
there before.
Yeah, we've done 40 plus there before. No dramas. We just ran out of tape.
Yeah, but that was a tight squeeze.
You can stretch it. It stretches just further down, and there's slightly less space between the tables. But 40 players can fit in there. It's quite a cool event. So that's that. So this year, I wonder if did I talk about when we played August? No, it didn't. Okay, cool. So I've forgotten the name. Invercargill Invasion happened. That was another tournament.
Oh yeah.
I attended. That was down here in Invercargill, hence the name. It was supposed to be a big 30k event, and like literally all the Auckland cool kids were going to come down and play 30k and stuff like that. And of course, COVID lockdown hit, and
COVID-19.
Yeah, and it was a bitch because it restricted the players to pretty much just people who play in Invercargill and a few guys from Christchurch. Instead of being able to play like big games, like a proper tournament, it was devolved into like just small. Like there were about 5 tables, and then it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 or 6 tables. And the last day there was quite a large battle to see which force won overall. It was the bad guys, the heretics. In the end, we had a 26,000 point battle, 2 Primarchs.
It's ridiculous.
2 Primarchs on a 12 by 4 table. There were at least 3 or 4 knights and 4 other super heavies on it. The 2 Primarchs I mentioned were Rogel Dawn and Prince Rabo. I had 3 Land Raiders and a bunch of dudes. Mechanicus had one of those. What's the biggest knight there is? The Archipolis one. That big slab of resin with the 2 massive cannons on it.
Yeah.
Cheatiest Maximus.
There was all sorts of bullshit. There was conversion beamers going off. There was it was just a mess. There were like super heavy cannons just fired everywhere. They were like plasma this and that and the other thing. It was a mess. We won barely because we drew, but because we were winning somewhere else. I think in the actual tournament we technically, as the Heretics, won overall. Something. So I'm gonna tinker. I think there's gonna be some Zone Mortalis stuff happening next year. So I'm looking at making the Zone Mortalis tiles with my laser. So that should make them slightly lighter than stuff.
Resin.
That's
Forge World
stuff, because that's just heavy.
You should hook up with Caulfield, who's printing off a whole heap of stuff. Yeah,
Caulfield stuff. Big shout out to his Zone Mortalis. It's mint. It's really, really good.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it because he doesn't show enough of it probably. But you're
not in the North Island 30k group.
Yeah, because I don't get invited because you guys suck. Anyways, that's a big event that'll be happening again next year. It's just Josh has said he will be advertising it more, as long as he's still alive, of course, which I imagine he will be for foreseeable future. But yeah, it's just
there was quite a lot of the Auckland guys that were planning on coming down, and then COVID just fucked it. It was
like all everyone's plans were screwed. It's like, oh cool, that ruins this event, that ruins that event, and it's like, and we're quite lucky here that like the only thing it really ruined was our ability to play toy soldiers, and go play toy soldiers. Basically, COVID ruined our toy soldiers, but in other countries, it's we've got to recognize that it's like literally killing thousands of people per day. But here it's not. All it means here is like you scan into wherever you're going, and you wash your hands, and you avoid
wear a face mask
and avoid Russian semen.
I've always had a life rule of avoiding Russian semen.
Yeah.
Dan, you went all blurry.
Yeah, that's because your connection's shit. Yeah.
No, it's your connection.
No way, man. It's your connection. We're crystal over on this side.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't care. Anyways, you can still hear me, and that's the important part.
Tell somebody tell Ethel to restart the router in Invercargill.
Yeah, man. Get somebody to go out with the hand crank and turn it on.
Yeah, you got fibre yet?
Yeah,
you've got fibre. It only took you 2 years additional.
Yeah.
No, we have fiber down here, and we can get that stupid 4K shit now, whatever it is, 5 or 4,000. But I don't need 4 gigabits a second because I don't think most PCs can do. Well, this PC can't do 4 gigabits a second because what's the point? Yeah, but you know, if I was ever gonna host something big and do routery, internety, server stuff, then probably 4 gigabits a second would work. Anyway, enough tech talk. That's the events we played in. That's the events we had fun at. Did you go to any Blood Bowl things? You must have gone to one or two.
I went and played at Greenstone Cup. Yeah, so that was my first Greenstone Cup. I went and played it. We had 24 players all told, I think.
And I think
so. We couldn't use the normal.
Yeah.
Couldn't use the normal place that we played at, which was the Rose Park Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So we found an Auckland City Council venue. So one of the guys arranged it through Auckland City Council, which had a fucking bar. Thank you.
Wait, what? What?
It had a bar.
What council venue has a bar at it?
So it's one of the council offices. It's near Sky City, and in their lunchroom, they have a bar.
Wow.
And we were situated in their lunchroom. So yeah, so the whole event was through there. It was catered. There was a bar. It was fucking spot on. It was great. I took my orcs to the event, and of course walked away with the spoon. No, I didn't walk away with the spoon, not this time. I did walk away with most casualties.
Most casualties, yeah, because that's literally all you ever aim for in a game.
It's not. I try and play the game.
I love how you say I try, and then it's like, oh, most casualties again with my chaos, or most casualties with my orcs. Yeah, funny.
I played BD team, so I was undecided which team I was going to run. So I took my human team and my orc team with me on the day, and I'm like, Dan painted these really nice. I guess I should play them.
Maybe you
so.
Should, yeah. It was,
so I played them, and
it was real hard to match that orc you gave me back. Because I didn't write down the colour scheme because I thought, painted the whole lot, I don't need to write the colour scheme down. And just trying to look at it and like, because I think I made a video about it. Yeah, I did. I had to go back through that video and be like, what colour? Why would I use that red? What? Where is this green? And it sort of matches except for the base is one of the wrong like flat earth colours I've used. So
but he's a star player, so that's all good. That's fine by me. So ended up with most cares. I think I got 24 casualties or something like that in 5 games, which is just obscene.
Yes.
A lot of
damage in Blood Bowl. Yeah. So still enjoying Blood Bowl?
Oh, I will never get sick of Blood Bowl. It's one of those games where I will, if I've not played it for a couple of months, I'll have a game and I'll just be like, it is almost the perfect game.
Almost. Well, Granddad's fallen asleep there at the bottom. GG.
No. I'm just having long blinks.
No. Just resting my eyes. Just resting my eyes, boys. Don't worry about me. I'm not.
I was watching that.
I'm not. I just want to see what the inside of my eyes look like for a little bit on my eyelids. Yes, they're very black. Bloody hell!
It's like 25. It's 25 minutes after my bedtime.
5 to 10. Jeez, calm down. Oh, I gotta like. What do you turn? Didn't you turn 50 this year, and you're like automatically old?
No, I turn 50 next year. Get fucked.
Oh, you're not 50. Fuck, you're not 50 yet. Oh, what's your?
No, I just look like I'm 80.
Yeah.
What's that hard living?
Hard living in Auckland, physical labour.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to end this bit, give you some ads, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about the future of the podcast, and the blog and the Facebook and all the other things we have on the YouTube, and Makeup will make promises that we will crossing the shit out of our fingers that we will try to keep our promise to you, but we won't talk about in this bit because it's not a good third bit. Right, bye for now.
Danger! Danger! Is your battlefield in need of terrain? Visit TitanTerrain.nz. They've got all the laser cut MDF terrain from historical, modern, and futuristic. Visit TitanTerrain.nz or follow them on Facebook.
And welcome back to part 3 of the Binary Lines podcast, episode 64. Normally we don't have a part 3 because we get very sleepy in part 2. Unfortunately, Granddad did have to take off because he is very, very sleepy. because it's way past his bedtime, as he mentioned at the end of the part 2 there. So Damien's gone to bed now. He's useless, but it's sort of our fault for always starting this podcast at 8 o'clock and then going rambling for 2.5 hours or so. Now this is part 3, so you might notice we went away on a long hiatus. Now we did at the start blame COVID, but it was literally just us. We didn't bother to concentrate on the podcast. We didn't bother to concentrate on YouTube. Greg basically used the Instagram as just to post his own shit. I didn't post any of my stuff on the Instagram, which I really should have. We just went away, and we didn't think it was fair to the people who like to listen to us, as there are at least 3 of you. Thanks for that, by the way. Yep. If those 3 people could just go and get the top tier in the Patreon, that would be super. Anyway, so we're making a promise to you. Well, as we my fingers just keep crossing. Like, how does that happen? Anyway, my promise. Yeah, both of them. I was like, what the fuck? My promise to you, ish guys, maybe my flaky promise. What's a promise you can break?
Not a pinky promise.
It's like my not going to promise you. We're going to try. That's it. We're going to try. We're going to try and aim. We have goals. Here you go. Goals 2021 and the end of this month, 2020. We're going to try and get back to doing a fortnightly podcast so that you can listen to us. So now, if you all go and sign up to Patreon, that'd be great for the fortnightly podcast. It actually doesn't help at all if you're for fortnightly or monthly anyway. But whatever, sign up to Patreon. Am I trying to push the Patreon too hard, maybe? I don't know. Anyway.
I don't think I heard you mention it.
Okay, so we're also going to put out videos on YouTube again. So Greg is trying to aim for monthly to try and get people to come to his garage/dungeoni. We did have a look, and we did do some analytics, and we've done some before in the past. We checked Flames of War videos on YouTube. When we do Flames of War videos on YouTube, we're by far the most popular, because literally we're one of the few ones who actually play a full game that is fully recorded with live movement. The ones I've watched are either old, or they are just using photos, and they're just graphical, like, oh, here's this thing attacking, and then just writing over the screen, and that's no fun. I don't like that kind of staccato stuff, and if I don't like it, it doesn't usually show up on the show because it's dumb. Well, at least I think it's dumb. I'm going to go back to doing painting videos and just how I paint, because I think I kind of got annoyed with how my camera angles got, and it's when you're doing painting videos, it's just a pain in the ass to get the camera right, and if you're painting flames, well, you have to get right in, like, real close up to your face, kind of that close, to paint some of the details, and of course the camera can't be there because your nose is in the screen because you're that close to a miniature, and you're trying to get a camera in between you, so you have to do some long shots on it. I struggle sometimes with that, and it's a bit of a pain in the ass, but I will get back to painting for you. So if you're looking for some Flames of War tutorials and some how I do paint jobs on stuff, I'm not going to worry too much about the extreme zoom until it comes to like the end of a part, and too much rambling when I paint. So I'll just try and get it done a bit quicker with less blah blah. But yes, the podcast will go back, and it will remain the same unless you, the audience, decides for change and you want us to hear more about X, or you want us to do more things. We're always open to suggestions and things like that, especially from our patrons. But if you want to talk more, if you want us
the other
yeah. Oh, you go, Greg.
The other thing is the blog. So there's not been a post on the Behind Enemy Lines blog since Panzer Shrek 2019. So that needs some love as well. So I'm going to look at doing a bit of an upgrade there, maybe moving it over off a blogger to maybe more of a website. So I'm going to do a bit of investigation around that.
Maybe more of a WordPress
and try and get some content up there.
And I think we also
not fucking WordPress.
I don't know, whatever the cool kids use. But what I also think we need to do is we also need to be like the other. So the reason we always we're the underdog podcast. Like we'd start it because we were one of the third or fourth podcast for Flames of War that came out. All the older ones have like faded away and just like poof, completely gone. And I didn't want to end up like that one that's gone. You know the name. The American one.
Breakthrough Assault?
No, they still exist, don't they? No, what's one of the what's the old one that Steve used to run? Steve McLaughlin, Mike's mate.
I can't remember the name of it. The name is eluding me.
Yeah, I didn't want to end up like a podcast that just ran out of steam, ended up hating the game. So the problem with a lot of the other podcasts is they're single item focused, and if you eventually burn out on that item that you don't like or that game that you don't like, they're going to just run out of steam and they're just going to end, and the people are left in the lurch. Problem, a good thing. Problem, not really. Problem for wallets. So Patreon. Problem for wallets is that we like lots of multiple games. So there will always be something, and we'll always be playing it. So that's really, really good for you and for us, not for our wallets. So Patreon. So we'll be looking at that. So we're going to try and get that. So I've lost my train of thought and wanted more patrons. We probably what we don't have compared to the other people is they have quite a large staff. If you look at what's the English one? Not Breakthrough Assault. There's the other one.
On Tabletop?
No, not that one. That's like a proper company.
No Dice, No Glory?
Yeah. Oh, No Dice, No Glory is the American one. Yeah, I think Breakthrough Assault is the English one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have quite
right.
They have quite a large number of like writers and things like that. I think that's where we need to expand. Of course, once again, we can't pay them because we have no monies. But we know a great group of people who like to write bollocks about, toy soldiers and stuff. And we're going to, what's the word when you force someone to do something against their will?
Make them volunteer.
Yeah, we're going to ask them nicely if they could just write some shit for us.
Yeah.
Press gang them into writing for us. Yeah, so that'll be that.
That's it.
That's the word I was looking for. But all the meantime, we expect you guys to support us on Patreon. But they're not getting paid, so they're volunteer writers. They're doing it for exposure. Come on, guys.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like, love all these people. It's like, we have a real day job that pays blah 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 per day. It's like, yeah, but write for us for free. I'm like, come on. So you have dreams of being an author, right? Yeah, come write about toy soldiers, you loser. So we want to do that. So I want to expand the writing crew to be a bit bigger. That will be some trusted people that we know. Podcasts will remain at 3 people. It's usually sometimes it's 4, but the 4th person is normally a guest speaker. Let us know if you want guest speakers on. Usually we can finagle a Battlefront person in here to talk about Flames of War because they love us and think we're cool. That's a guarantee. They'll think we're super cool. We can try and get like all of them on at the same time, but for that we'll need all of our patrons to be paying on Patreon. That I'm saying way too much. See, this is how out of practice I am because I'm saying and I never say
I know.
It's terrible. So we're doing more podcasts. So in summation-ish, going to try and do fortnightly podcasts because we love you.
Yes.
And our patrons. We're also going to try and do at least 2 videos a month. One for like painting, modeling, or unboxing, because I feel like being like really lazy. I'm like, here's a box of toys, I open them, or you can do one of those too, Greg. Here's a box of toys, open them.
Yeah.
And we're all fucking arms again. I'm going to do some painting videos because they're pretty straightforward. Like I know. I think my painting's not great, but then some people are like, oh, wow, how'd you do that? It's like, with paint. Is normally how I explain it. I do it with paint. I've actually got a really cool one. It's a Space Marine one. I discovered a way to make grim dark Space Marines. I thought it would look shite, but it actually looks really cool. So I might make a little tutorial on that bad boy. It was.
What do you mean grim dark?
Oh, you just cover them in goo and then rub the goo off. And I was like, whoa, no way it worked. It was. I was impressed with it. I was like, it was the first time, so a long time since I've liked my own work. Greg is going to, because he's got the dungeon down there. So what is it? A cave?
I do.
Do you call it? What do you refer it to as a dungeon?
It's the Noob Lair.
Oh, the Noob Lair. That's right. The Noob Lair is going to get some new tabletops shortly, and you'll be seeing some action videos on that. So There will be some Napoleonics games in there, so you old people, can watch and enjoy those.
And Ancients.
And Ancients, so you even older people can enjoy that. And hopefully a lot of Flames of War as well, and Team Yankee. Now, as much as I love Blitz and... What's the name? Man, I should remember those guys. Eddie's channel. You remember the guys from Singapore? Oh man, Blitz and Minis?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Is it Blitz and Minis? Oh man, I'm subscribed to them.
Blitz and Minis?
Yeah. I do enjoy their Team Yankee videos as well. But I reckon we should do some Team Yankee as well as some Flames of War. So you can find that. Just type in Behind Enemy Lines channel on YouTube. Look, subscribe there. Just look at some previous stuff. We're on Facebook. Look under us up. There'll be links everywhere. And Greg is going to work on new webby sidey bloggy thingamajiggers. So there's that. Yeah, and we'll try and expand so that we're a bit more present. That's what I think our problem is. We need to be more present and available. So we have got a Discord, and I'm in Discord every day, all day. I just leave it open and read stuff as it happens. So yeah, good times. So that's our pinky swear / not really a guarantee, but we'll try our hardest. That's all we can promise you. To be here. We'll also get Damien, so we might try and start a little bit earlier if we're going to do these big ones that go for 2 hours, because he gets sleepy. We'll try and get Mike, but Mike is useless, and all he do is talk about old boats anyway, so who cares.
Hey, look, those old boat games are bloody good.
Yeah, but they're old boat games.
We need to get them on. That's true.
Says the guy looking at his Black Seas Master and Commander set. I rigged one boat, then I just gave up on life.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you didn't try and slit your wrists after doing that.
Yeah, and this is the basic rigging too. It's not like like if you did the ships in a bottle thing. It's like do this. I did it, and it's like I wish I was dead. This is just not fun. I played one game with it. This is a fun game. It's like now rig your ships. I was like, nah. I think what I'll do is I'll just put these boats in a cupboard like I do, or in a drawer like I do all the other things, half finished projects, and I'll forget that it exists. I have a lot of cupboards with things that I forgot. I should get rid of it and sell it, but one day I might want to play with it. Man, it's such a hoarder, eh?
Who's got the time though? Honestly,
I know. Anyway, that's us. Remember to Patreon. The Patreon only costs you $1 unless you want to spend $25 a month. We will use that to.
It was 12.
Oh yeah, that's right. $25 is for something else. No. So yeah, it's 12. 12 is the highest tier. Don't give us $25. Yeah, so $12 is the highest tier, and you get a sticker after 3 months. I should just see if I have those. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go and get some of those stickers just made and just give them out to people. Like people will walk up to at the supermarket, be like, "Hey, you want a sticker?"
No, don't because then that takes away all the prestige of the patrons getting it, you dickhead.
No, I'm gonna go stick it on all the cars I see at the supermarket car park and just put it on the back like a bumper sticker. Here you go.
How are you coming along with the Behind Enemy Lines widgets?
Widgets, the other day when I said I'm going to design these widgets, I didn't.
Didn't do it, did you?
No, but I've got an idea of how to work the software now, so I'll do some sweet widgets, and some generic measuring ones. So, of course, one side's going to be 6 inches, one side's going to be 2 inches because that's normal movement size for most games, hopefully. And then we'll just do some other tinkery designs in it, available in acrylic, and you can buy them off me. And what else? No, I just got a lot of ideas that I can do and things I've found that I can do myself on the system. I found that I can engrave stuff. I made those cool trophies for that game. Yeah, I was gonna make your trophies, but I didn't know that my software could actually do exactly that and cut out a nuke cloud until I went in there and was like, cut this shape, and it's like, okay, and it's like, oh damn it, cut that shape. It engraved it too.
It did exactly
what it took. It took an hour and a half to cut 5 trophies because of all the engraving on them.
Sure, that's pretty good.
Yeah, well, not really. It's an hour and a half. Took ages, but they look cool.
Right.
I was gonna spray how they have had silver lettering in them, saying like Flames War, Flames Gone. So I kept the cover on the acrylic. It burned away all the shapes, and you spray in the negative, and then you take the little peel the thing off, and it's like, ooh, pretty. I was gonna go gold. I had a fresh can of gold that I'd had for like 2 years. I was like, sweet, do them gold, and I was like, and it's like, no, and it's like, no, it didn't work. It had gone bad. Like all the gas had died, and it's like, fuck. It's like a day before the tournament. How am I gonna do this? And it's like, go in there. It's like, silver's good, right? I was like, because I have some cans that are like orange and other dumb colors. I was like, no, I can't do it orange or blue because that wouldn't work good. But fortunately, I had a can of silver and that looked choice. Anyway, that's enough.
That was all right, then.
It's enough talking about my laser. What we should really be focusing on is the Patreon. But in saying that, I don't think you should subscribe to the Patreon if you're A, poor, B, don't have a job because of COVID, C, if you don't believe we're going to put out more stuff, don't sign up to our Patreon. If you trust us to do, why did I do a little laugh? If you trust us to do more stuff, definitely sign up to the Patreon. Only costs $1 a month. I haven't lied about what I'm going to use the money for. It's mostly beers. But I didn't lie. It's going to pay for the stupid posting of this podcast and Greg's website that he's going to build. Yeah. So yeah, we do have costs associated with this, but we don't pass them on to you because we're cool. Unless you're Patreon, then technically we did pass them on to you. Anyway, enough of that bullshit. Basically, in a nutshell, summation, end of tale, almost my bedtime. We're going to do more.
We're going to do more shit.
You're going to receive more awesomeness from us. Cross our fingers, hope to die. Now watch us ask in our group friend chat who wants to write shit for us, and watch us be told to get fucked. Because, that's our friends. I love our friends. Anyway.
Yeah. Bastards.
Remember, like and subscribe, download this podcast, share it with your cool friends, share it with your not cool friends, and everything else. Just like all our stuff. Get a friend to like us. Yeah. Cool. Thanks for coming. Have a great day, night, or morning.
Don't forget about the Patreon.
Oh, yeah. And obviously don't forget about Patreon. It's very important that you don't forget about that. If you don't sign up to our Patreon, you're a terrible person. Anyway, thanks for listening. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Laters.